I didn't really begin to write songs with any kind of confidence or purpose until I joined Oasis in 1991. Going into 1993, one afternoon in Manchester in the pouring rain, I wrote a song called Live Forever.
Maybe I don't really want to know.
And that changed everything. And it was at that point that I knew enough about music and great songs to know that was a fucking great song in any era. With the advent of the internet, Oasis would have been written off. Because for the first couple of years, we were shit. You know, we were just like it was a bit kind of Mancunian baggy outfit. People would have gone on YouTube, seen a few gigs and gone, nah, I'm not interested, what's the next thing? So we never got to live forever. Everything now is in the music business is about the numbers. How many followers has this fucker got? What are the likes? What are the numbers? What are the streams? That's all they're bothered about. No one's bothered about the thing, art, the music, the longevity of it all. If it speaks to you, then you kind of jump on it, and that's when you start. What is this? So for me, it'll be a sequence of chords. What does the feeling evoke? Is it happiness? Is it an up tune? You know, does it sound hopeful? Does it sound melancholy? Does it sound sad? Does it sound romantic? And eventually, you know, you'll hit on something that you feel comfortable with, and then the process starts. There's no greater gift in the world. There's no greater gift in the world to write a song that people will accept and put into their daily lives and love it, you know, and it's such a privileged position to be in. And I really enjoy it. So starting at High Flying Birds, the only plan that I had was I wanted the sound of it to develop, because Oasis was stuck in this stadium rock rut for a long time. So when I started this, once I got the first record out of the way, which was pretty much what was going to be the next Oasis album, I started to use more synthesizers, and in a very basic way, just to add something different. This has developed since doing Who Built the Moon with David Holmes. He said, bring one guitar and a bag of pedals, and that's it. And you know, the album took 4 years to make, and with no 2 days were ever the same. You'd get there and he'd say, can you play the keyboards? I'd like, no, and he'd say, right, put the guitar away because you're gonna write on the keyboards. And I was like, I can't fucking play it, you know. And he's like, good. Then we get something interesting out of it. Like pianos, I tend to not go near them because you've got to be, you know, fucking thing. But synthesizers, you can fuck around with them and make fucking mad, crazy noises out of it. So I've developed adapting it into my songwriting now as if I've got the bones of a song, which will just be the acoustic to a click track. I'll happily get on a synthesizer for fucking hours, and that will be the first thing that goes on. That is a fucking wicked sound. I mean, I love presets on synthesizers, right? Keyboard players hate presets. I fucking love it. I cannot sit there for hours. If I'm looking at a keyboard, an envelope, what the fucking, none of the language makes any sense to me at all, far less the fucking keys. They don't make any sense either. So I'm a big believer in presets. The Matrix Brute, amazing fucking, in fact, it's so good, I've got 2 of them. When I was doing the EPs, that's all over Black Star Dancing and Rattling Rose and all those EPs, and I just love the fucking around with, I don't mind the cut-off thing, I can do that. I mean, you go, wow, good at that. And the resonance and all that. But it just adds an atmosphere, and it takes it away from like rock music and brings it into another realm. I loved it, you know what I mean? Because it was almost like a rebirth as an artist, and usually, you know, to get a rebirth as an artist in your 50s is a fucking privilege, you know what I mean? Because usually in your 50s you're kind of bald. I've got another old bald guys with you, and you're doing all the hits from 30 years ago. But to have a rebirth with the High Flying Birds is fucking, it's just such a gift. We are living in the golden age of this kind of shit now. I have to say, I don't get into the science of sound or looking at computer screens. I'm not in any way interested in it. You know, I'm interested in writing the song. They would show me all these fucking plugins and I would just be like, what? What? When I got the library from you, I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. You know, the synths. You don't realise how many fucking songs from the 80s are in that. Even in the preset banks, it's like, just fucking Beat It by Michael Jackson. And the preset is called Beat It. It genuinely blows my mind at how the fuck it gets out of a fucking computer screen into a thing and then coming out of a speaker, and you're just like, how can that be? That's sorcery. When I first started doing this stuff, I was expecting for it to be good, but a little bit, like most things that are digital versions of the real deal, sounded good, but a little bit shit. I was blown away by how fucking great. I was like, really? I can't believe it. I still write from a very traditional, still about the melody and the words. Then to get into that world of synthesizers and electronic stuff at an early stage, while still keeping your little Beatles melodies or, you know, all that kind of thing, you're doing something that's actually really fucking great, I think. But yeah, to just have the option, you know, because a CS80, they're what, 15 grand? You know, Jupiter 4s are what, 10 grand? You know, fucking expensive bits of kit, you know. And if I was in a fucking prog band, the plugin thing might not work, you know what I mean? But because it's just adding another kind of flavour to it, for me, they're fucking essential part of what I do now. I mean, I've got a really great collection of vintage synths now, and when I do get them, I'll have them at home for a month. But I have to say now, since I've got the Arturia stuff, they never come out of the cases, because they're quite temperamental. The Jupiter 4, honestly, one of the best keyboards ever created by any fucking human being. You know, you're switching it on like this. Is it gonna fucking blow up? And then it comes on, you're like, man, fucking hell, come on, quick, fucking record it immediately. My keyboard player, Mike Rowe, comes with his little laptop and he's got synths for fucking miles. It saved his fucking life, you know what I mean? Because keyboard play, particularly in this day and age, anybody that had a vintage collection of keyboards has long since sold them because everybody's fucking broke. And musicians are fucking broke. So to get these plugins now and have them all at your fingertips, and you can conjure up any fucking stupid idea that you have. Mate, have you got a fucking, you know, whatever it might be, have you got a clavier line there? Yeah, I've got one here. Plug that in. Fucking oh wow. You know, to flick through 1,000 presets is amazing.
Here's that one.
Yeah, what fucking, yeah. That's amazing. I mean, that's amazing. Was that the sound? So it's like an octave up though, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. It's revolutionised my songwriting, do you know what I mean? It's become more inspiring to me. It's kept me going in a way, do you know what I mean? It's like, don't like Black Star Dancing and Blue Moon Rising and This Is the Place would never have happened without the synthesizers, ever. I can't begin to tell you, like the mellotron stuff in Arturia, some of the new tunes that I've done, all the presets are done for you, you know, and you don't have to do anything, and you just fucking put them in this massive string sound, fucking enormous stereo strings coming out of a little fucking tiny computer screen. It's like, this is fucking mind-blowing. It really is mind-blowing. Everything that I do and everything that I play, these are all tools to benefit the job of songwriting. And the synthesizer stuff are amazing tools because A, there's so many of them. You know, you can have, you know, 100 synths in your pocket. The golden age is upon us, and I find that people who don't want to explore that, I'm just like, you're missing out on so much here. It's not like to become fucking Rick Wakeman. You know, these are just atmospheres and flavours that you're adding to your own already worked out piece of music. If they're aiding the creative process or the genesis of creating a song that some people are going to fucking love and get married to and get buried to, mate, fucking cannot say anything more than that. That's the greatest thing ever, ever.